So בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו וירוויח. השיעור יהיה לעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קציעה, נשמתה תהיה צרורה בצור החיים. So, סעודת מלווה מלכה. Anyone know here what סעודת מלווה מלכה? Obviously, רחמים. Okay, so I'll explain what is סעודת מלווה מלכה. I'm going to go through it. The first source that we have to eat סעודת מלווה מלכה come from the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat. The Gemara in Masechet Shabbat in page Kuf Yutet Amud Bet, that's mean 119 folio 2, the Torah tells us like this: Le'olam yesader adam shulchano b'motzei Shabbat. That means a person obligated to prepare his table and Motzei Shabbos. What it means to prepare his table? To prepare for another meal. אף על פי שאינו צריך אלא לכזית חמים במוצאי שבת מלוגמה, פת חמה מלוגמה. What does it mean? Chazal tell us here in the Gemara that the person obligated to eat a kazait, a bread, and to drink something hot on Motzei Shabbos. Mesh, you look surprised. Okay, so I will explain everything. Don't get surprised. So we see from here that Chazal tell us that the person obligated to eat kazait bread. Kazait bread is 28 gram. But let's round it to 30 gram bread. That means to make a sa'uda over a bread, to vas, to say al netilat yadayim, amotzi lechem min haaretz, and then to say birkat hamazon. Chazal explained, why do we have to do that sa'uda? Why do we do that sa'uda? Did you ask yourself? Anyone know why? So, obviously because Chazal tell us, yes, Simon.
Especially after having had 3 meals.
Nachon? Nachon? How can you eat any more? Nachon?
Exactly.
So we'll explain.
It's part of the mystical.
There is a mystical side to it, and I'm going to bring the Midrash, and I'm going to explain what's happening. First of all, let's go step by step. So Chazal tell us that the main reason that they constituted that Sa'uda on Motzei Shabbos, to eat bread, is a farewell meal to the Shabbos. That means the Shabbos ready to leave us, we accompany the Shabbos before she leaves us. That's the main reason that we're saying goodbye to the Shabbos. You follow? Now, we're going to go a bit to the spiritual part of it. What's standing behind eating Sa'udah, Melaveh Malkah, or Sa'udah Revi'it? We'll explain all of those. There is another name to it I will bring just now. So, Rabbi Tzidkiah ben Avraham. Rabbi Tzidkiah ben Avraham, born in Rome, 808 years ago in Italy, and he wrote the famous commentary that called Shibulei Aleket. And in his book, he explained that a human being have a bone in his body that called Etzem Maluz, on his koi. It's a small bone, this side, Rabotai, and it's at the back of the neck. Can you see there upstairs, ladies? That's the side of the bone. And that bone, after a human being die, never get rotten. That bone get all her fulfillment and all his nourishment and all of his life from Sa'udah Melaveh Malkah. Everyone understand so far? So say the Baal Shibulei Aleket, by that we eating Sa'udat Melaveh Malkah, we're giving the energy and the nutrition to that bones. Without that, she doesn't get any benefit from any food that we're eating during the week. Only from Sa'udat Melaveh Malkah. That's Shibulei Aleket.
That's the bone L'Tchiat HaMetim.
Now I'm going to get to it. The Midrash in Bereshit Rabbah, in Parasha Kafhet, Chazal tell us that bone, after a human being die, all the bone disappear. That bone can never disappear. As a matter of fact, you can't crush it. You put it on a vice grip, the vice grip will break. You try to break it with a hammer, the hammer will break. That bone is so strong. So Hazal tell us from that little bone, when the Mashiach come, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will do the resurrection of the dead, Tchiyat HaMetim. What does it mean? From that little bone, HaKadosh Baruch Hu create the body again, and Tchiyat HaMetim. Any question? No question. Okay. But that's what the Hazal tell us. I know that it's very difficult to eat after Sauda Shlishit. But Hazal tell us, you missed it because you was outside, just for you because you're so important, I'll repeat. Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat, Kuf Yutet Amud Bet, that means 119 folio 2, Le'olam, forever, Yesader Adam Shulchano B'motzei Shabbat. That means a person should prepare his table for the fourth meal, okay? Af al pi she'eno tzarich ela lekazait. He's not obligated to eat only 30 grams. Actually, kazait, as I mentioned before, is 28 grams. But let's round it, 30 grams of bread to make a sauda. Sorry? Oh, I'll get to it. So according to Hazal here, you have to do kazait pat. What does it mean, kazait pat? Hamotzi. That means that you vas, al netilat yadayim, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, you eat, and then you say birkat hamazon. But also Hazal tell us there that it's very important to have something hot to drink. Something hot to drink. You follow? I'll get to it now. How many names Saudat Melaveh Malkah have, and why did they call it like this? So the famous name for it, Saudat Melaveh Malkah, that you accompany the queen. The Shabbat call Shabbat Malkah. Nachon? We sing on Kabbalat Shabbat, Shabbat Malketa. So from here we see that the reason that it's called Melaveh Malkah, that we're doing a farewell meal in honor of the Shabbat to say goodbye to the Shabbos. Yes, Rahamim.
Is even a minhag Motzei Shabbos before Havdalah that people light candle just to welcome the Shabbos out as well.
There is a minhag like this.
They're lighting candle, and that's the meal.
Yeah.
That's together.
But when I get to the minhagim, the custom, you'll see that I'm going to speak about everything. The second name to Saudat Melaveh Malkah called Sauda Revi'it, the fourth meal. Why is the fourth meal? We know very well that on Shabbat we have 3 meals. The first meal we eat on Friday night, nachon? Second meal on Shabbat morning, Shabbat midday. The third Sauda is Sauda Shlishit, after Minha on Shabbos. Sauda Revi'it, that's called the fourth Sauda in honor of Shabbat, that's called Saudat Melaveh Malkah. There is other name to it. Saudat David HaMelech. Did you hear about it? Rahamim, you hear. Why they call it Saudat David HaMelech?
Motzei Shabbos we said to David, all the Mizmorim to King David. So it's connected.
That's the Mizmorim, but why they call it the Sauda Dafka in the name of David HaMelech?
Because he's a king of...
But יש גם שלמה המלך היה כי. So I'll tell you where's the minhag. The source to it comes from Sefer Ta'amei HaMinhagim. That book been wrote by Rabbi Avraham Yitzhak Sperling. And he born in Poland 167 years ago. And he says, you know why they call Saudat Melaveh Malkah or Sauda Revi'it Saudat David HaMelech? And he bring the source from the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat in page 30, folio 1. David HaMelech asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu when he going to die. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him that he'll die on Shabbos, but he didn't tell him which Shabbos. So every Shabbos that David HaMelech survived when he was alive, he make a great feast in Motzei Shabbos. That he survived, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed them to live another week. So that's why we call that Seudah, Seudat David HaMelech. But there is another custom. It's a custom to say on a Seudah, Dahi Seudata de David HaMelech. If a person say that that's Seudah of David HaMelech, while you're eating, it's a good thing to say that that's the Seudah of David HaMelech. You follow? So let's summarize what we say so far. We learn from here that we obligated on Motzei Shabbos to eat the fourth meal, Seudat Melaveh Malkah, or Seudat David HaMelech. When should we eat, and what can we eat? Like Gavin asked me. So lechatchila, a person should eat bread, kazait bread. But we all know that it's difficult, nachon? After Shabbos, to eat another meal, nachon? So if a person really found it very, very difficult, can eat pat tabak bekisnim. What it means, pat tabak bekisnim? That means cake, biscuit, and etc. And if that's difficult for him, I saw another leniency, and I bring the sources, he can do Seudat mitzvah on fruit. Seudah revi'it on fruit. I told the source from the Gaon Hida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai, and I see that also Arav Ovadia Yosef Zatzal bring that leniency. So from here we see, given, does it answer your question? That if a person really can't do Seudah revi'it on a bread, he can do it on biscuit or cake. And if he can't do that even, he can do on a fruit.
But then he doesn't bench after that.
He doesn't bench, obviously, because there is no benching after mezonot. After mezonot, we say bracha achrona. And if you eat fruit, you say borei nefashot. Depends if you're eating grapes. Then you have to say bracha achrona. נכון? על הגפן ועל פרי גפנה. Okay. When is the appropriate time to eat Seudah Revi'it? Immediately after Shabbat is go out. If a person can't eat Seudah Revi'it immediately, he can eat for the first 4 hours after it got dark. And if that's also difficult for him, he can eat Seudah Revi'it until midnight. You follow? That's brought in Yehveh Da'at and also Shmirat Shabbat Ke'ilchata. That there is that. Now, who's obligated for that Seudah? The same, you think also a woman? Let's see. Why not? The 3 meals of Shabbat, male and female obligated to eat. Nachon? The same like they're obligated to eat, also female obligated to eat Seudat Melaveh Malkah. You follow? Now, how should we eat it? So Hazal tell us that it's a good minhag to put a tablecloth, to use a nice cutlery like we use on Shabbat, to eat Seudah Revi'it. Not only that a person should stay with his Shabbos clothes until after he finished the meal of Seudat Melaveh Malkah. Any question? No. Let's continue. Let's speak about Zgulot. What is Zgulot? Zgulot is a remedy to that person that eat Seudat Melaveh Malkah. What can he achieve? A person that eat the 4th Seudah of Shabbat, what eminent, what benefit he get from it. So Hazal tell us, if you remember at the beginning, that a person should eat a hot bread. Why? So Hazal said that when you're eating a hot bread on Seudah Revi'it, you just warm it, it's good for the soul, for the health of the soul. And what you should say, a person should say, Pat hamim b'motzei Shabbat miloguma. I will translate it. Pat hamim, it means a hot bread on Motzei Shabbos, it's a remedy. You remember I mentioned at the beginning when I read the Gemara that a person should drink hot drink? What does that do? When a person drink a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever is it, a cup of hot water, a cup of chocolate milk, whatever is it, that's for the health of the body. So we see from here that if you eat a hot bread, it's for the health of the soul. When you drink something hot on Motzei Shabbos, it's for the health of the body. And a person should say 3 times, Hamin b'motzei Shabbat miluguma. That means something hot on Motzei Shabbos, it's for the health of the body. 3 times to have hazaka. Also, Abotai, it's only a segula, it's not an obligation to eat a teeth of a garlic that not been peeled. And why is it? And Hazal tell us that to eat a teeth of a garlic, if a person want to be happy all week, he'll eat a teeth of a garlic, not peeled. So you will be happy all week, no sadness. Eat it, chew it, eat it. So when I told the shiur to my wife, listen to that, what she said to me. For sure he's going to be happy. No one going to come close to him. No one going to speak to him.
It's healthy as well.
It's very healthy, yeah. It's very, very healthy. It's healthy like you can't believe, because we done a shiur, you remember, on a fruit. And the garlic is the antibiotic of all the fruit. It kills all germs. There is a lot of nutrition on the garlic. There is a lot of sgulot, a lot of remedies, a lot of help for the person that eats garlic. Now, I can't hear. Sure. Can you talk louder, because they have to hear you, yeah?
So what we used to do is make an empty matchbox, take garlic, chop it up, put it into the water, and let it around the neck. So the germs for the body shouldn't get in.
There?
The germ of the
The germ.
Well, you use
Yeah.
polio days.
Yeah.
polio epidemic.
It's very, very important. Yeah. It's well known that the garlic have a lot of special sgulot, a lot of eminent on it. The final segula that I want to speak, and you're all going to be interested, if you want to be rich, segula for richness. Huh?
Don't eat garlic.
Sorry?
Buy a lottery ticket.
Buy a lottery ticket. I'll give you a cheaper idea. So, what is the idea about it? If you want to have a good wealth, there is a segula on Motzei Shabbos to tell a story on the Baal Shem Tov. Every time that you do a Sauda, in the middle of the Sauda, before you finish the Sauda, tell a story on the Baal Shem Tov. And that will bring you what we call it a charm lock of a good prosperity. And I'm going to tell you a story. You obviously want to hear a story about the Baal Shem Tov. The story starts like this. A Jewish person, let's call him Chaim Yankel, came to the Baal Shem Tov and he asked the Baal Shem Tov that he wanted him to daven for him for a parnasa, for a good health and wealth. So the Baal Shem Tov said to him, you need to leave your town and you need to go to the capital city. Underneath the bridge of the capital, you'll dig and you'll find a treasure. A good Jew listened to his rabbi, and here Chaim Yankel ready and is on a train to the capital city. While he was on a train, he's thinking, When he got off the train, he was on his way to the bus stop. He met another Jewish person that was a tailor. They were standing and chatting, two Jews, what you doing, blah, 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 blah. He said, no, I'm from that city, and I was at the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov told me that I should come to the capital of the country, and underneath the bridge I should dig, and I will find a treasure. The second person that he met, he was a tailor. And the tailor said to him, I was also at the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov told me that there is a person by the name of Chaim Yankel. And Chaim Yankel have a treasure under his stove. So Chaim Yankel, listening to who? To the tailor. And he realized that underneath his own stove there is a treasure. The tailor heard from Chaim Yankel that underneath the main bridge in a capital city there is a treasure. Chaim Yankel, without thinking twice, immediately turned around, gone back to his house, and start digging underneath the stove. What did he find? A treasure. The tailor that heard that he was from the capital city, gone underneath the bridge. What can he lose? Because he didn't know it's Chaim Yankel. Chaim Yankel didn't reveal himself to him. And start digging underneath the bridge. And also find a treasure. So say that story on Sauda Reve'it, Melaveh Malkah, when you're eating. Praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Shabbat. And also say a story about the Baal Shem Tov. And Be'ezrat Hashem, it will be a remedy for us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us prosperity and health. And not only health physically, also the soul health. That's the most important. As Hazal say, and our sages tell us, that we should say Refuat HaNefesh or Refuat HaGuf. What it means Refuat HaNefesh?
Mental health.
Mental health. And Refuat HaGuf? Physical health. So we see from here that the person that eats Sauda Reve'it, what can achieve? And who doesn't need today? We have two doctors here. We have Dr. Cobb, we have Dr. Cohen here. How many patients you have, Lo Alenu? Every day, nachon? So if you eat Sauda Reve'it, what can we achieve? I didn't come to close to break your business, huh? It's just for us, huh? So Be'ezrat Hashem, we should all merit to eat Sauda Reve'it, and then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bring down on us prosperity and health and send us Mashiach Tzidkenu b'mehera b'yameinu, amen, ken yeh ratzon.